Hi guys, welcome to Music This Week. Before we get into our lesson, I want to take a quick moment and show you how you can double check to make sure you have all of your music assignments turned in. Because quite often we've had some assignments that are due, but I'm only getting about half of you turning them in or submitting them. So let's double check. How do you find out if you have an assignment that has not been turned in? So if you go to your music class, and you know you're in music because over here you have your big square that says music. And if you come down on the side, you have materials, updates, grades. If you click on grades, it will show you all of the assignments that we have. And if you have a line here or if it says missing, that means that you did not turn in that assignment. So let's say that you want to check on recording yourself playing Engine. All right. Now you're looking at this and you're going, okay, what am I supposed to do? What does Mrs. Johnson want me to do? How do I know what the assignment was? Well, if you look, this is number 2 in a series of things. So click on the day, and here's the video lesson for that activity. Here's where the assignment was. And here might be some extra things to help you. All right, let me go through that and do that again with another one. I'm going to go to Music Class Schoology Grades. Oh, look, I see that I didn't turn in, what note is this? Recorder fingering BAG. I click on it. And in this situation, it's going to take me right to the quiz that I need to take. So in this one, it was, how do you finger these notes? And I'm looking specifically at a 4th grade grade book. So 3rd grade, this could be slightly different from you. So please, kiddos, make sure that you are going through and double checking that all of your work is turned in. But let's get talking about our lesson today. Our lesson today is on families of instruments, and specifically, we're talking about the brass family of instruments, okay? So let me move my screen over to here and search for brass that I'm going to use for our help today. Okay, move me back over. So the brass family, oh, it got rid of me. There we go. The brass family is a family of instruments that are usually made out of a shiny goldish or silverish color metal called brass. And not only are they made out of that metal, but they make a sound a very similar way, which we're going to get to in a couple of seconds. The brass family has many instruments that you may recognize and a couple others that you may not have seen. Here, let me see if I can highlight something. Here we have the trumpet, the smallest of the brass instruments. This is the French horn, and if you had me in 1st grade, you know we did Peter and the Wolf was the French horn. This is the slide trombone, and this is the tuba. Now, there are other brass instruments that are similar to these, and if you read the paragraph above, the trumpet, cornet, and a cornet is kind of like the trumpet, just a little bit different shape. The French horn, the trombone, the baritone. Baritone and euphonium are like little teeny tiny tubas. Some of you in 4th grade may have chosen that to play this year. The tuba and the sousaphone. The sousaphone is like if you saw a marching band walking down the street and one of the kids had a big wrapped around them tuba, well, that's called a sousaphone. They are all members of the brass family. They're all made out of brass, and again, it's just pointing out this one's the trumpet, this one's the French horn, this one is the trombone, and this one's the tuba. We have a rule about these instruments. The smaller the instrument, the higher the sound. The bigger the instrument, the lower the sound. So this picture is slightly deceiving, but the smallest of the brass instruments is the trumpet. So the trumpet plays the highest sounds. The next smallest slightly larger than the trumpet, is the French horn. It plays higher sounds and some lower sounds. Slightly bigger than the French horn is the slide trombone. And the biggest of these four instruments that we're talking about today is the tuba. The tuba is the largest and it plays the lowest sounds. So can you guys say after me, say trumpet, French horn, trombone, tuba. From smallest to largest, highest sounding to lowest sounding, trumpet, French horn, trombone, tuba. So to make a sound on a brass instrument, you have to buzz your lips. Now, this is what makes a brass instrument special because none of the other instruments, the string instruments or the woodwind or the percussion, make a sound like this. And to buzz your lips, you put them together and you push the air through and make your lips vibrate like this. And depending on how fast or slow you buzz your lips can change the sound of the note. So can you first off just try buzzing your lips? All right, now let's try to buzz our lips really fast and it's going to sound like an elephant. Okay, take a listen first. You give it a try. And if we buzz our lips really slowly, it will make a lower sound on our instrument. Now, this is a big, extreme dramatization of this, but go ahead, give that a try. So when you buzz your lips, you create the sound, and you put your lips against the mouthpiece, and the mouthpiece focuses the sound and takes those vibrations and puts them through the tubes of the instrument. It makes it louder and clearer. Each of these instruments has a different sized mouthpiece that matches the instrument. Oh, I want to go back for a second. I want to go back to these four instruments. No, I can do it from here. So most of the brass instruments have lots of tubing, that is all coiled up. And there's a reason for that. Now I'm going to go back to those pictures. The trumpet is about this big. It fits nicely in a case. When I play it, it comes out to about here. It's not super large, but because it is all coiled up and the loops of the metal are turned on itself, it can be a lot smaller. If we had stretched out the trumpet, it would probably reach 4 to 6 feet in front of us. Now, that's great in Corona times to keep people away from you, but can you imagine taking a 4 to 6 foot instrument on the bus or trying to make a corner with that? That would be next to impossible. Now, imagine doing that with the French horn or the trombone or the tuba, which are even larger. So it just wouldn't make sense to have an instrument sticking 6 or more feet in front of you as a way to carry it around every day. So that's why the instruments are looped and coiled up. So let's take a second. Oh, let me talk about this real quickly. Each of the instruments in the brass family have the tubes, and to change the length of the tubing changes the sound. The smaller the amount of tubing, the higher the sound. The bigger the amount of tubing, the lower the sound. On the trumpet and the French horn and the tuba, they use valves that you push down. And depending on the order that you push down the valves, changes the length of the tubing. On the trombone, it doesn't have valves. It has a slide, and you move the slide out farther from you to make a larger instrument, or up closer to your mouth to make a smaller instrument. If it's up here, if the slide is up here, it's going to make a higher sound. If the slide is out here, it's going to make a lower sound. So not only do you have to buzz your lips, but on the trumpet and the French horn and the tuba, you have to press down on valves to change the length of the tubing to make it higher or lower. And on the trombone, you have to move the slide in and out to change the length of the tubing. So let's review all of this real quickly. We have 4 main instruments that we're talking about. The trumpet, the smallest of the brass instruments today. The French horn, which is slightly larger. The trombone, which is slightly larger and makes a lower sound. And the tuba, which is very big and makes a very low sound. We talked about how when a brass player buzzes their lips, that's what makes the sound on the instrument. And you can practice buzzing your lips fast, and you can practice buzzing your lips slow. If you buzz your lips fast, it makes a high sound. If you buzz your lips slow, it makes a low sound. And a brass player will buzz their lips into a mouthpiece to focus the sound, to make it louder and clearer. Now, carrying around a 6-foot instrument would be kind of awkward, so we curl that instrument up. We cause bends in it that are intentionally put in there so that it's not as long and it's more easily to be carried. And to change the sound on the brass instruments, you need to either push down on the valves to change the length of the tubing, or you need to move the slide, like on the trombone, to change the length of the tubing. Well, now that I'm recording this while we're getting ready for school to start. Now that we've gone over that, let's real quickly show what you are going to do next. You're going to go back into Schoology. You're going to go into the orange folder. You're going to go into the next orange folder. If you want to see what we were talking about today, here's a link to it, the number 1. But more importantly, the thing you have to complete next, and it will only take about 3 minutes, is this number 2 puzzle piece, the brass instruments. So after you leave here, go back in and do brass instruments puzzle piece and answer the questions. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you next Thursday. Bye.